The beauty about the whole thing is being able to do 250 plus without any problems, without looking over your shoulder.
We love the events, they're well organised, they're basically unrestricted what type of car and modifications you run, which is unusual these days with heavily scrutineered events.
Yeah, the event's great. It's good to see all the car enthusiasts together, all the different makes and models, all just here having fun, helping each other out.
Down in the pits, just bumped into Ricky Muir from the Australian Motoring Enthusiast Party. You're here at the Snowy Mountains 1000. It's a great event, taking speed off the streets like the Ian Luff campaign.
Yeah, thank you, Daniel. It is. I'm here to actually help promote the Taking the Speeds Off the Streets campaign, and that's absolutely splendid to be here.
Now, this event, 1,000 metres in a dead straight line, is pretty cool to watch some of the cars go down.
It is. It's absolutely spectacular. The moment I got here, I got to watch the supercharged Corvette go down the track, and it was just brilliant.
Now, you got to have a ride in one of the cars as well, the Genesis of Ian Luff's. How was that?
Yeah, it was really good. I honestly didn't think I'd ever see the day where I sat in the Hyundai going about 220 kilometres per hour. Impressive little bit of gear.
Now, taking speed off the streets is what it's all about. What's the methodology behind that idea?
Look, I think it's a common sense approach. You know, the on the street is not the place for speed. It's definitely in a place like this, and the campaign, keeping the speed off the street, it's just the right campaign. 19, 20 years it's been going for, and I just want to help promote that and actually try to be a face behind it alongside Ian Luff and the rest of his crew.
Well, it's great what you guys are doing, and I mean, we really appreciate this event, and hopefully more people come out and support it into the coming years.
Absolutely. Well, I'll definitely say I'll be back here next year with my car as well.
Excellent. We look forward to that one. There you go, Ricky Muir down here having a look at the event. Hopefully see him out here next year in his own vehicle pushing the 1,000 metre. Another car that's certainly turning a lot of heads is this Kombi van run by Stephen. Stephen, it's a very different vehicle to be taking down a 1,000 metre strip.
It is. It's a bit of a square peg and a round hole attitude, and we've got about 160 horsepower. I think the top runners here are about 1,300, so we got it licked. No problems.
Now, you were telling me before that it's got a bit of an interesting backstory. Can you tell us a bit about where this car came from?
Look, it really is. It's actually an ex-Roo Shooters vehicle, and it was found at the back of Cobar, and what they did with the Kangaroos, they used to be a lot of pegs and hooks on this, and if you look closer you see all the blood stains, so it had a very morbid, dark history. So we've given this vehicle a life, from starting its life as a dry cleaner's van, then to a Roo Shooters van, now to a race truck. Yeah. So we're getting a lot of interest, let's say that.
Now, what's the plans going into the future with this car? What do you want to do with it now?
Museum piece. I think it's no, look, it's earned a lot of it's the fastest Kombi in the world. It's recognised as that. It runs the salt flats at South Australian Lake Gairdner. We do drag racing, and it's done gymkhamas. It's sort of done a lot of unusual sort of motorsport items, and it's just because it's a Kombi and people would not associate doing something in a Kombi. So it's a bit of a crowd pleaser, I suppose, and that's where I like being in the underdog.
Well, hopefully it continues going well for you and continue pleasing those crowds the rest of the afternoon. Good luck.
Thank you. With this wind, it's a big panel, so we might get pushed around a bit, but I'll hang on to it. It'll be good fun. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. We'll be back after the break.
Welcome back to Blendline TV. We were speaking to Steve before the break about his Kombi van, and now we get to take a look at this wind machine launching its way down the street. It's done some great events, this one, and always turns head, and at a couple of 100 kilometres an hour, it really makes you notice it out there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's it always catches people's eye, the old rat rod Kombi. Not something I'd like to be doing. 173.5 kilometres an hour. It's his best run here this weekend. And yeah, what's 27.843 seconds? It's fairly flying. It's bright and it's fun.
Noel Pickering in the HSV WM range. Interesting vehicle. This one, of course, you can see travels around the country. I think it's used as a daily as well, and it does these runs and puts down some impressive times in the V8.
Yeah, he had another great weekend here. Pulled out 253.8 kilometres an hour and 21.235 seconds at the end.
Stretch the legs of what you've got, and here's the first one away, the Ultimate GTR of Alex Campeso. This is an impressive looking vehicle. I absolutely fell in love with this car across the weekend.
Yeah, supercar. There's the only thing you can say about that. One of the fastest cars around the Top Gear racetrack, I believe, over in the UK, and very fast down to 1,000 metres here.
Yeah, he put in a 20.65 and sat for an eternity on the line, spooling up to get ready.
Yeah, I've spoken to Steve before, and he's told me he doesn't think there is a single person who comes to these events that goes faster, that has spent less money on their car than him.
Yeah, 220.
Campaigned a Nissan Skyline R32 and was able to top the job in Class 3D. A very nice job at 21.440 at 241 k's an hour. The car tuned in the Godzilla workshop and running sweetly. Driving a 5.2 litre V10 with 405 kilowatts at the wheels. Bob Parkin's HSV Walkinshaw VL Commodore really cranking out the numbers. A 5 litre V8 always sounds cheery. The awesome 6.2 litre supercharged V8 Chevy Corvette. He won Class 1E with a 21.332 second run at 267.7 kilometres an hour. Bit of hold.
0.9 kilometres an hour, an impressive effort. Billy Campello in the Chev Corvette ZR1, absolutely beautiful looking machine as well. And just look at the way he lights up the rears.
Yeah, fantastic sounding machine too, this one, the Corvette, and a pretty good time here, 20 seconds, .114 at 291.3 kilometres an hour, and we've actually got Daniel down in the pits with a special guest now.
R8, Tony Bottage, he won Class 2E, a 24.833 second run at 212.8 kilometres an hour.
Power.
Now we have Jose Yardem in another Toyota Supra. You can see the chute on the back of it. He was expecting to go fast, came all the way from Perth to run some quick times, and he did not disappoint.
Yeah, one thing we should point out, Dan, is that these cars are doing this on street tyres. They're not drag strips, they're street tyres. And look at Jose go across the line here.
312.6 kilometres an hour at 19.6.
Wow, we have seen some insanely fast cars here today. One of them is right behind me. This Supra is owned by Jose, who's come all the way from Perth for the Snowy Mountains 1000 today. Mate, why would you do that?
Just to promote our business. So I've got a business back in Perth called ITP Race Cars with my business partner Joel Melbourne, and also just basically showcase the 1000 metre racing. We come third at Race Wars, which is a WA event, so I thought we'd come out to Snowy Mountains and challenge it up.
So it's obviously not a stock Supra, this one. Got a bit of work done. What sort of stuff have you done to it?
Yeah, it's got a full built ITP race cars engine. It's a 3.28 litre stroker, and obviously got all the Australian brands like Turbo Smart, Hypertune, Haltech. We like, obviously keep it with as many Australian brands as possible, so just here to promote them as well.
Cool. And what sort of time or speed do you think you'll head up to today?
We've gone in our second pass so far, 304, which is a PB. And obviously, like anything, you just want to go faster and faster. So, yeah, we'll just see how it goes. Hopefully, we can go faster than 304.
Awesome. Thanks, Jose.
Thanks.
5:07 seconds.
Great to see a few Porsches out there as well. This was Kevin Westblade in the Porsche 911 GT3. These things launched so hard off the line. Standing on the start line, it was great to see them roar away up the hill.
Again, something else that you could definitely consider a track car, not really a drag car, but very quick at 241 kilometres an hour and 21.
You're alive with that one. Andrew Lowoski here, the 4C winner in the little Mini Clubman, a cool little vehicle going up the runway. Something you don't really see. I mean, we're saying it all the time, something you don't really see on a runway, but this thing, not something you think about. Minis, of course, the Italian job, very movable and easy to control vehicles, not something you'd run in a straight line.
Of course, there are absolutely no rules with the run what you run. If you can bring it, they will find the class for you to get into, like this LJ Torano, beautiful old machine.
Now this is actually a historic racing car as well, I believe, with the full roll cage in it. Does a lot of track work around the country. So Rob Duggan in this one, he was the winner of Class 3D. Just have a listen to it here down the centre of the runway. The screaming 6-cylinder with triple Webers under the bonnet. I had a good look at this car, love the old Toranas, and he put down 193.3 kilometres an hour.
Yeah, 24.
Running a WRX motor, Steve Carter, this was a noticeable car.
Yeah, it surprised a lot of people, this one. They thought it was just an old Herbie Lovebug. Not at all. Turbocharged WRX engine and good for 226.5 kilometres an hour.
I know the guys were struggling. Here at the Snowy Mountains 1000. Here we have something a lot of people will be familiar with from their youth, a Honda Civic. Nick Elson, the 5B winner in the little silver Civic. He was having a great old time out there.
Yeah, this thing had the most amazing set of individual throttle body trumpets on it, and it sounds fantastic. Listen to it scream.
A great noise for 204. That is moving.
That top speed, 312 kilometres per hour, that makes that the fastest rear-wheel drive car in Australia. That's a fantastic.
Now we have Sally Ann Haynes, second in 5E and fastest female in the Porsche 997 Turbo. She was quick and hard to hunt down for a lot of the males as well.
Yeah, and she drove this up from Victoria, just cruised on up the road and did a top speed of 273 kilometres an hour at 1.5 seconds.
Now we move into some of the big boys. Dominic Russo here in the Nissan GTR R34, whatever number plates. He was not willing to fight with everybody to take this victory. He just wanted to try to put down a 300 kilometre an hour time, and that's what he did.
Yeah, 300 kilometres an hour in 18 seconds. Up to the top end.
Next out was the sponsors car, Martin Stevenson from Power Plus. Bit of an interesting looking front. We saw Martin talking about it earlier on in the weekend to Richard. I tell you what, we learned to love it.
Oh look, it's just such an interesting thing. Really built for this event, that front end. As he got it a bit loose off the line there, and he was the fastest V8 of the weekend, fastest naturally aspirated V8, up to 254.3 kilometres an hour and 20.64 seconds.
Just look at it fly across the finish line.
Up to the top end.
Next out was the sponsors car, Martin Stevenson from Power Plus. Bit of an interesting looking front. We saw Martin talking about it earlier on in the weekend to Richard. I tell you what, we learned to love it.
Oh, look, it's just such an interesting thing. Really built for this event, that front end. As he got it a bit loose off the line there. And he was the fastest V8 of the weekend, fastest naturally aspirated V8, up to 254.3 kilometres an hour and 20.64 seconds.
Just look at it fly across the finish line.
Well, we've seen some weird and wonderful cars here today, but none, I think, weirder than this Torana owned by Martin from Power Plus. Mate, it's a Torana, but none like we've seen before. What's going on with the front end there?
Oh, it's been a drag car, and I thought last year when I sponsored the event I'd try and modify the front for a bit of aerodynamics, and I had a help from a mate of mine, Ephraim at EF Composites, and we've come up with this because I didn't tell him it had to look good. I just told him it had to work, and then I saw it, and we've grown to like it. But at first it was a little bit out there, but with the stickers on it, it sort of hides it now, so it doesn't look as out there as it probably does to you guys, to us. So.
And Power Plus is a sponsor of the Snowy Mountains 1000 this year. What's drawn you to this event?
I saw an ad for it a couple of years ago, an article on it, and I thought that's a pretty unique event. And I'm into trying to do different things, and I thought I'd like to get involved, and we sponsored it, and I thought, well, I'll have a go with my car at the same time. So we sponsor a lot of regional motorsport things with Gunnedah drags and Badangara drags and some regional motorcycle stuff. So, you know, we try and look after regional stuff and keep away from the big city things. It's sort of, you know, the regional sport's better. I think a lot of people come out to these things and enjoy the thing, or it's not as serious, and you can just get in and have a go and enjoy yourself more than worrying about too much crap, you know.
There you go. Power Plus, keeping grassroots motorsport alive. Thanks very much, Martin.
Thank you.
Kilometres an hour, 24.74 seconds up the runway, so pretty good effort.
Yeah, very much. Next up on the grid was Danny Rowe in the Lexus. He's actually one of the sponsors from Bacchus Energy Drink of the Snowy Mountains 1000 here, and having a good old time in his normal road car.
He was making everyone feel uncomfortably energetic down in the pit lane, giving out free samples of the drink.
Yes, a 2012 R35 GTR, which is fairly heavily modified for this type of event. It has a 1,200 horsepower Willow Racing engine in it, fits in a gearbox, and 18-plate clutch system because of the horsepower. Essentially though, it's still got air conditioning, Bluetooth, reversing camera, and all the mod cons, because I love my air conditioning. We're hoping to get 300 to be the first car ever in Australia, one of these events, to get 300, and last run we did 299.9, unfortunately. But we've broken the record quite considerably. We're 4 seconds faster than any car was last year. So, but we're hoping for 0.1 of a kilometre an hour, but it's sometimes very hard to get. Standard car, it will do about 245 kilometres over the line in about 20 seconds, mid-20s. Lightly tuned car running ethanol will do about 280 over the line and run about a high 19. So they're still very, very good as a standard car.
Now, he could have been faster, and next year will be.
But it all came down to this man, Kia Wilson, yet again the fastest man up the runway, the Nissan GTR R35, unbeatable.
Yeah, this Willall Racing GTR, they've got it really hooked up. Nobody knows what sort of power it's making, but it's heaps. And watch this thing launch. It is phenomenal off the line.
A bit of a stutter, but he's away quickly, and he was flooring it, snapping gears, pushing his way. You turn your neck so quickly, it almost hurt to follow this car.
And absolutely stonkingly fast speed of the day.
Basically, it's a street car, the only car here possibly that's on unleaded fuel. And yeah, we drive it every weekend. We take it to the, we take it racing to circuits and so forth. So it gets driven regularly, at least once or twice a week. First line here, I'm enjoying it. Hoping to crack the 300. First run we got 284, I think 283. So see how we go on our second run, and hopefully we get above the 290s and maybe creep up on the 300. See how we go.
Basically a lot of time, effort, a lot of work, a lot of money as well. Basically you just build a nice strong engine for it, throw a couple of turbos onto it, make sure everything else sticks together, and just put your foot down. I knew that top speed isn't my forte in this being, it's almost like pushing a barn door through a tornado. So the main aim was to try and get as fast as possible in the quickest time possible. So the first half of the track is where I have a very big advantage over everyone. So I just exploited that, and this is where we are. 19.08 seconds, I think it was. So, no, we're stoked.
Dalakakis, the driver in that awesome Jeep Cherokee 6.2-litre V8 twin turbo with a massive 680 kilowatt at the wheels. Twin turbo V8 Jeep Cherokee SRT 8. Watch the way this thing leaves the line. Emmanuel Dalakakis took out Class 3E and the 8-cylinder forced category as well. Outright, he was the second fastest man with a 19.088 at 270.2 kilometres an hour. That thing is quite a car.
Currently the fastest Jeep in Australia, possibly anywhere in the world. There's a madman behind the wheel, believe me.
The speed we did today was 308. To improve on it, probably try and get a better launch to get a bit more speed at the start of the track. Other than that, pull the wastegate out and change the spring to up the boost. Tuned by eTuner down in Melbourne, and yeah, there's a lot of work done to it. It's a 3.4 litre, pushing about 1,000 horsepower. And yeah, we've put a lot of time and effort into getting it set up to try and do this.
Is that Darren Maxwell in the Toyota Supra, another Toyota Supra here. We had 3 of them inside about the top 5, so they were really pushing hard. You can see there the parachute on the back. He would need it by the end of the run. 311.8 kilometres an hour. That is moving.
Yep, that was one of the fastest cars top speed wise of the weekend. Those Toyota 2Js, they put
always been into rotaries, right back from Western Sydney days. When I used to hear those rotors come around the drag strip, and just got into them from that day. This is the third rotor I've gone through. I've had an RX4 coupe and sedan, so it's the RX3 coupe is the one now. That's my choice, yeah. Well, this car I've had around about 13 years. It's been staged from just a standard Series 4 with a turbo, and then a high flowed that. So now it's got the 4094 Garrett in it. So probably playing from 220 horsepower to about 500 horsepower now at the wheels. So a bit of an upgrade, yeah. So that's been over 13 years. And a lot of money spent, yeah.
And here faster even than I think Usain Bolt could go.
There you go, Craig Sandy in the Mazda RX-8. This was the 2E winner and the fastest rotary on the day. I think you'd have to give it one of the best looking cars on the day as well. Immaculately presented.
Oh, fantastic. Under the bonnet, everything was chrome, polished, lots of nice Turbo Smart bling in there as well. Fantastic looking car. Good for 220 kilometres an hour neat at
199 kilometres an hour.
Ferrari's got into the action. This 458 Italia 4.5 litre naturally aspirated V8, doesn't it sound beautifully? Took out class 1D, 21.728 the time, and 245.6 k's an hour.
Cooma for the Snowy Mountains 1000. First run of the day, and I've got to tell you, there's some pretty fast times out there, so it's going to be interesting to see how our Taking Speed Off the Roads campaign Hyundai Genesis is going to go.
It's the only Pagani in Australia. The Zonda's a all-carbon fibre car with a 7.3 litre V12 engine. Just normal manual transmission, no driver aids, no traction control, no launch control, nothing like that. It's the wrong thing to say that it's a very basic car, but it's a real driver's car. And it's just a joy to drive, so it's wonderful to have an event like this where you can bring it down and see how fast it actually goes. Well, it's a bit of an unknown for me because I've never done something like this before. I know the car's capable of doing about 350 kilometres an hour, but I think if we can get to 250 or maybe 260 kilometres an hour today, that would be a success. The main reason for coming today is that we used the car to raise money for a little girl who had cancer. So we're raising money for the Cancer Council by auctioning off rides in the car. So 3 lucky people, in fact 4 because I'm going to take the little girl with me as well, are going to get a ride in the car today.
How good is that sound? Maybe not as quick as one would expect, but a beautiful ride nonetheless.
Seconds. Impressive effort.
Impressive from Jamie Heritage there. Next up on the grid we had our 6D winner, who's Scott Turnbull in a WRX, an individual WRX this one.
Yeah, 2 doors, so not a very widespread variety, I guess you could say. Very rare car. Great to see it running down the runway, and a 237.4 km/h run, popping the windows out of it.
I've heard of blowing the doors off.
It's pretty much stock except for bolt-on modifications. We're looking at E85 tune, standard turbos, bigger fuel injectors. Obviously it's been completely vinyl wrapped, so it doesn't look much like a GTR anymore. Other than that, it's pretty much stock.
driven by Jamie Heritage. He placed third overall with his time of a 19.406 at just over 252 kilometres an hour.
Good to see it being handed out amongst the guys.
Another car from the Toyota Lexus stable here. This one's a bit special. It's a Toyota TA22. Actually has a V8 engine, which is twin turbocharged and runs all-wheel drive running gear. Amazing bit of engineering this.
Yeah, he would put down a 256.6 kilometre an hour at 9.
over 224 kilometres an hour, 24.94.